Good morning, everybody. Oh my goodness. I hope that you have your morning cup of coffee. And speaking of which, I got mine and I thought I want to try something this week. I'm going to do a daily recording this week, Monday through Friday. I don't know if you could hear that. There's a little doggy downstairs and has the cutest, saddest little whine. His owner just left and he goes, ooh. Poor baby. Okay, anyway, I want to just do little daily love notes. And it's whatever is going on with me, whatever I'm thinking about, whatever I'm, working on, and just sharing with you guys a couple of things. And already this morning I've been inspired and I want to share that with you. And so I really want to talk about, I'm going to talk about several things because that's what I do, but I was inspired by two things and I want to share that with you. So the first thing is sit on the moon and talk to God. The second thing is a quote that I heard from these people that really are so peaceful and calm, and they inspire me, and it came up again, a video came up, and they are called Cozy Cottage. Let me see. Let me find it. Oh, shoot. Let me find it. Hold on. Okay. Cozy Cottage Art Studio vlog on YouTube. And they live in this tiny little cottage. And they're creatives and they do projects together. And something that he said really inspired me this morning, because I was already feeling like I wanted to talk about the things that I was witnessing in the world, especially, just this month. But in the last week, I've really been noticing that a lot of people are dealing with death. We're hearing it on the news. Unfortunately, there was like 2 major shootings that happened at a supermarket and a church. Again, mass shootings and dealing with death. And then, I've had to deal with the death of my little dog, and I connected with other students who reached out to me who also had to deal with that. There's people that I follow that had to deal with the death of their dog, and humans, people dealing with the death of their humans, right? And so it's coming up a lot. And then my daughter just lost a friend of hers, and it's unexpected. So one of the things that it inspired me to talk about is, and I wrote this in a post this morning, but it was to talk about what it teaches us, because death really sucks. We're not prepared for, for stop, right? A full stop. We're not prepared for that. We don't know how to process death, because we live inside of our own shell and we live from a space of infiniteness. We feel as though in our spirit it goes on forever, and it does, but we have that feeling because the spirit is inside of this vessel. But when this vessel goes, or we see other people's vessel go, it's hard for us to take that in, because we feel infinite, because as a spirit we are. So we have to remember that these spirits that leave us, they're infinite. And there's quotes from Einstein that talks about, energy can't die. It just moves from one thing to the other. And so even though it's interesting that science sometimes will deny the existence of an afterlife, it's kind of crazy because scientists already know you can't kill energy. So where does it go? It goes somewhere, in some way, whatever you want to call it. If people are not comfortable with the word afterlife, just talking about energy, where does it go? Because it doesn't die. And I think that's one of the questions that people are taking in right now. They're processing, where does the energy go? What is life about? How do I bring my life more meaning? And I think the fact that we're asking those questions, having conversation with the universe, with God, with nature, whatever it is that is your higher connection. I don't care what definition. I just use the word God, just to create that universal understanding that when we're talking to spirit, talking and having our internal dialogue about life, we're not alone in that conversation. There is this infinite thing happening between us and a greater power, whatever that is. I like to think that the greater power is always listening. And we have the intelligence to sort things out, so we're not always going to instantly have a resolution to things. And the expectation is really just to listen, that there's something out there listening to us. And I really think that all of this, what we can learn from it, because I don't think that there's nothing good about what's going on in our world, and seeing stuff like that. But I think what we are learning from that, what we can glean from these tragedies that happen, are how it makes our life, our thought of our life, more meaningful. Because we can sit and think about how to make it more meaningful, right? And how to ask the questions about life, that's the part that makes it more meaningful. So I just was thinking about that, and I wanted people to understand how immense you are. Your spirit is infinite. It's so big, to just close your eyes and take a deep breath, and picture yourself sitting down on the moon, with your little fishing pole, surfing, fishing for stars, and having this dialogue with God or the universe about life, to think of life that grand and to think of yourself that grand is the key. Then the other thing that this person at the Cozy Cottage vlog said, he was talking about stress and how people are feeling so much stress, not people, but him, and that interferes with the creative process, or even having time to be creative, because he was working at a pumpkin carving factory, which, is also creative. And how cool, people just have the most interesting lives, and this is why I like to delve into other creators and creative people, because they end up doing these really interesting things with their lives. And it's not big and flashy, but it's meaningful, right? Which is what we're in search of. And so what he said when he was talking about the stress, I wrote it down. He said, you have to learn to ride the wind a little. You have to learn to ride the wind a little. And I feel like I'm in the process of doing that. I've been pulling back on things. Like I pulled back on my Patreon page because I was just struggling to figure out what people wanted, and I just don't want to be pumping out content that nobody's listening to, which strangely, I would put content out, which is how I understand why people go to Patreon. They want content from this individual, and then I'd put it out and hardly anyone, like the majority of the people on there, wouldn't even watch the content, which was so interesting to me. So I found I was struggling with that because I wanted people to watch the content, and if it was exclusive, it felt like it was content being wasted because nobody was watching it. So it felt like I was always trying to figure out, what the formula was, and it just took up a lot of time. So with that, I just was like, I don't want to deal with that anymore. So I got rid of that. And then yesterday, I ended up just shutting down or closing my Etsy shop, because that had, the things that I focused on before, I wasn't really focusing on there anymore. And with Reiki, I'm now putting Reiki 1 and 2 on Udemy. And so putting it on Etsy as it was, I found some people there, and people found me, I should say, there. But then I got this weird thing yesterday. I got, just out of the blue, got a 1-star on a Reiki attunement, which was so weird to me. It was like from over 2 weeks ago from the attunement. So it was really weird to me. And I reached out. I was like, I'm so confused. Did I forget to do it? I'm looking into it, and then I'm thinking, no, I sent it to her. I communicated to her. So what's the deal with that? I asked the question, sent her a message and said, I'll reach out to you from my email too, because I'm going to be closing the shop, but at least for a while I regroup. But I reached out, like, let me know, was I supposed to send you, a certificate or anything? Because she had mentioned too that she was just doing it for, she had just got the attunement just for her own healing. So not for an attunement to Reiki 1 or 2, which was new to me. I was like, oh, I never thought of doing it that way, but maybe she needed a certificate or something. And then when I said, did you need a certificate? Let me know, because I'm happy to send it, but you didn't say anything. You just had mentioned that you were only using it for healing. So, and then she just said, okay. I'm like, what does that mean? So anyway, it was just a confirmation for me to just, I was already thinking of shutting the page down, because I think what is happening with a lot of people right now too, especially healers who are kind of out there doing their thing. A lot of healers are kind of going inward. They're pulling back a little bit. And then you see some that are just ad nauseum putting things out. And I just don't want to be that person. I want to ride the wind a little bit more. I want to share, but I want to do it in a more intimate way. I'm not adding everybody who reaches out to me anymore to the weekly love letter. I'm telling them, you have to ask me to add you, because it's more important for me to have people who are listening and paying attention than it is just to have a huge group of people that are on the list who just never open the newsletter, right? So I just think it's important right now to focus on meaning in our life, So that's what today's love note is about, is just, taking the time for you to process your feelings, your emotions. If you're suffering a loss, you've got any of that going on where you're hurting, just let yourself feel it and take the time to go through that. And, if you can do anything to honor a life lost, it is to bring more meaning to your life. That's how you honor the dead. So I just wanted to say that, and just say I'm going to do these little love notes this week. And who knows if people like it, and if I like doing it, then I'll keep putting them out. But this is a daily love note to you guys, my beautiful little community, my bliss community out there. And I want to tell you what I'm listening to today for inspiration. So on YouTube, and I'll post it below too, but I want to recommend that you guys go to the Cozy Cottage Art Studio vlog, and I will publish that link down below. And then the music that I'm listening to as I'm typing up all my certificates and all of that is spooky music and magical music from fantasy and world something. It's cut off. But I will also post that link and share so that you guys can also today listen to what I am listening to and just kind of be inspired. So I hope that you guys have a great, great day, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Hit the notification bell, but definitely like and subscribe. And definitely, if you like this, just hit like or leave me a comment, even better, because I read the comments and I respond to the comments, and I'm always so happy when someone in the community reaches back out to me to let me know someone's listening and what I'm doing has meaning to you. So thank you so much, you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.